Okay. I apologize everybody for like that long delay. And let me know if the audio is okay. It likes to be a little finicky for sometimes. And if you hear that kind of like odd noise in the background, that's my fan. I got it propped up just so it can breathe a little bit better. So, I want to start this by saying I originally I had some guy on here accuse me of. He said my story was AI generated. I've been actually trying to find the original post that he made, and I don't see it. Now, I want to pull up my response real quick. And the reason I'm doing this is, as I've stated the first time, I have no intention of starting conflict with anybody. And while I'm not too keen on someone accusing me of, just not writing my own stuff or allowing it to be AI generated. Let me see. Yeah, it was pretty recently, like, okay. It was somewhere up around, like, here. But, this was something I had said. Now, this was not the original guy. But I had made a statement, I think it was around here, that I said... I made the statement that I was going to be... Okay. Oh yeah, see, here's what kind of pisses me off. This attachment is not available. So whoever said this originally, whoever made this post on my book was like, stop using AI, learn to write, and crap like that. So, okay, fine. And my response was, I'll take this as a challenge to validate my writing skills in real time. As much as I want to organize a future, I'm going to be trying to organizing a future stream for chapters 4 and 5 to everyone can witness. I would encourage all substitutes and followers to tune in. This event will take place after Lent, as I'm still trying to fast from the internet. Please do not, and I seriously mean this, send any harassment to the challenger, but apparently this guy who accused me has retracted his statement. So I don't know if this means he blocked me. I don't know what this is. I don't have a problem with his statement. I do have a immense problem with this. If you're going to say something, stand by it, and be a man and say, okay, you proved me wrong, and I'm going to retract my statement because you proved me wrong. But don't say something, and then when I take you up on it, you just try to erase everything. You made those statements, stand by them. And when you're proven wrong, just man up to it, See. Don't waste your time. Catherine's like, don't waste your time. Yeah, well, I'm doing it anyway. And yeah, people need to see. People really do need to know. People do need to, kind of say, yeah, I'm going to do this, because I want to say this really fast. For a long time, I was kind of hesitant to really... I was really kind of hesitant to actually do much of writing, because I always felt like I was going to be judged in some way for what I do. But now I'm like, no, I'm just going to write, and I don't really care what other people say. So with that, I'm going to demonstrate to you my process. So I have a personal Discord, and here I try to organize all of my thoughts. So I actually, this is over here is a friend of mine. I just recently invited him, and I was trying to get his insight because he's helping me with some historical stuff that I want to use now. This is a page I'm going to use for art. This is this art is not mine, but I do really like this, and I was inspired to write this to do this as a future series. And this is probably a more this is AI generated. I did not generate it myself, but I saw this and I'm like, this is almost a very accurate interpretation of what eyes looks like. Oh, by the way, I want to apologize because the the name is technically, I'm using the Gaelic version, which is A's, though I do kind of like randomly say eyes. Both are technically correct. However, the Gaelic version is the one I'm using, and because it is a kind of, into the Fey realm kind of setting. So, over here is what I have. This is player knowledge, or basically what I refer to as the reader's knowledge. And the reason I say player knowledge is because my characters have character sheets. So, over here, I'll give you a little spoiler. Gloam has spells, and these are the 2 spells he has already used. So there are spells now. I think that's like, what is it? Spells. These are a list of spells he knows. These are cantrips, and these are, I believe these are first level spells that he is allowed, that A's is allowed to cast through him. These are the ones he knows, and these are her stats. She does not have class stats. She has, I pulled this from the guide to Ravenloft, and I chose a survivor archetype for her. So you can see, these are her stats. She has a strength of 8, dexterity of 11, constitution of 13, intelligence of 12, wisdom of 12, and a charisma of 9. And just for a note, I am using charisma in the 5th edition as the kind of... I'm not using it as the charisma as 3.5 as like appearance. I'm using it as personality, commanding, how well you communicate, how you present yourself to other people. So these are actually NPC stats that she possesses. And let's see, over here you have, she, naturally starting off using 5 of these, so she has proficiency of 2. These are her hit points. She has 1d6 plus 1, so with the constitution being 13, that's a plus 1, so it's 7 hit points. Let's see. And I know this sounds a little strange, but I'm kind of trying to remember what these things mean. I'm trying to remember what the 9 and the 6 stand for. These are so down here what we have is I use a second an additional resource I got called Nightfell, and it's very cool. It's basically a very intense dark fantasy setting. If you look up Nightfell, it's really cool. It's a really amazing setting where it's like it's eternal night, and there are different races and species, and I pull a lot of influence from that. And they have this thing where they refer to as soul points. So the soul points have a number. I think what it is, I'm trying to remember the stats, but I think it's like you start off with a set amount of soul points, and I need to look it up. But how soul points work is every time a character comes in contact with a creature of a particular rating, that they take soul point damage. Now, this is only once, they only take the damage once per encounter. And the lower their soul points get, the more they suffer from things like fear, or they suffer from some kind of negative effect, negative spiritual effects. And you have the current hit points. So her hit points. Oh yeah, I remember this. Okay, so she has 6 soul points, and she currently has 5 soul points, and she has 7 hit points, but she currently has 5 hit points. So a lot of this is basically kind of how I determine. So when she does something, because she doesn't have any active skills, I just say, okay, I'm going to roll a d20, and I'm going to see whatever she's trying to do. So if she tries to do a skill that is, say, athletic, I'm going to say, okay, she's going to roll a dice, and then I'm going to say, okay, well, it's her strength is an 8, so that's a -1. Her dexterity is 11, so it's that's a 0, a +0. Constitution a +1, intelligence +1, wisdom +1, and so now down here, my second process. You see, this is Blood Hunt Book 2, and I'm also working on the outline for Book 3. Now, how I would do this is I do an outline first, and this is basically like what the concept is about, and I will show you my process. It's very much of a very yes or no. So we'll go up here, and again, this is a bit of a spoiler. So this is the basic setting. A's and Gloam are being stalked. This is completed. Gloam becomes aware of the hound. This is completed. Gloam instructs Eyes to find the tower, to find their location. This is not, I don't have where it says done, so this is not completed. Now I have and I gradually move on to other things. So, and basically this right here is actually a question. Does Eyes become aware of the hound? If yeah, okay. What happens if she does? Does she run? Does she get trapped? Does she hide and try to sneak away? And the result, and I roll to see what the result is. So if the result is, a check, you can see the check mark, so that means yes, this is what is going to happen. Okay, then you say, when does this happen? And I say, does it happen before she reaches the tower? No, that's a 1, so that's a no. Does it read after she reaches the tower? That's a 19 on the dice, so that is a yes. Okay, does she get saved? Check mark, yes. Okay, if yes, then by whom? Is it a new character? Is it going to be Gloam? Is it going to be herself? If no, then who? Okay, and how? Is it done by magic? Is it done by knowledge? Is it done by skill? So the highest ranking here was it was done by magic. So, now, does she make it to the tower? No, she does not make it there. So, it's kind of like a little weird thing where she gets close. So, in contrast to, does she make it? Does this happen after the tower or before the tower? It happens after the tower, but she doesn't make it to the tower, to the actual place she's trying to get. She gets close, but she doesn't make it. And then I think, okay, during this story, she has learned about wild fruit and where she is heading. And there's also some things that, okay, what will happen in possibles that will happen in chapter 3 and chapter 4. So you can, or excuse me, you see right down here it says the hound chases A's in chapter 2 and chapter 5. So we've already accomplished chapter 2, and now, so we're going to have things happen in chapter 4, but then we're going to have things happen in chapter 5, or the conclusion will happen in chapter 5. So currently we are on chapter 4. Now, as you can see up here, this is chapter 1, and this is where I kind of start writing, and I kind of start writing in these little kind of glimpses, and space. And then I kind of so right here, I kind of focused on, let's see, the events that happened. I stopped right here, and I said, okay, now I'm going to focus on the different event. This is particularly with the hound, and then I jump back to A's and Gloam, and space, and then I jump back and forth between them and the hound. And this is kind of like how I do it. I kind of stop, think about what they would do, and I roll. And let's see. So now I'm going to, because I haven't written this in a hot minute. Let's see. I'm gonna go back, and also just for a little something. I also have over here known characters. So these are characters that, and I do this to kind of keep note of. These are characters who have, I have introduced in the story. This is the information I've given, so I kind of remind myself what the readers know about this character. And things like that. Oh, and down here, I think you guys might like this. Here are the accents. I try to do a little bit of research, so you can say some of these guys have a British Cockney accent. And I have like the translation, so this is what they say, and this is how it comes out. I have a language, and as I say before on the live stream or the podcast I did was Black Ink. I did pull a lot from the White Wolf ideas, so here is some information about goblin fruit, or as I call it, the wild fruit. Here is my base of the outline, which these are just kind of little things that help me. These are tools that are all just kind of help me, and then story ideas. So this is just stuff that these are things that will happen in the future that I like. Oh, I like this is an interesting idea, and unfortunately, some of them are like way far into the future. So they don't happen immediately, but they're interesting things that I think people will be very fascinated to see. So let me go back, and I'm gonna go check this real fast. Okay. Let's see. Okay. We are on chapter 3, which you will see chapter 3 come out on Saturday, this Saturday, Sword and Saturday. And nice to know I have people who really enjoy my work. So what I do is I kind of go to the last chapter and think, okay, what do we need to pull from here? And I really do think that some of you will, I do think that some of you will start to appreciate this, but if you haven't read chapter 3 yet, I'm just going to kind of glance over to get like a bit of information of what I need to do, and then I come back and I go chapter 4. So then these are some little glimpses that I have written down, so you will see these. These are just notes. So let us go back, see. I just need to get my head in the right writing space. Okay, so looking down over the tarnished pot-belly breastplate, its lower half looked like two massive chicken legs, the talons curled in from death. Nothing but bone remained. This thing is huge, Ace grasped. Move me closer to the breastplate. I wish to inspect the insignia. Eyes knelt down carefully, bringing glow near. Yeah, and this is a few things that I kind of have a problem with. I sometimes need to go back and... Actually, this is something that people should really kind of recognize is sometimes I forget to proofread my own stuff, and I have to go back and reread it. And this right here should be proof that I am not using AI, because A's knelt down carefully, bring glow near as discolored engravings. Yeah, I need to fix that. So that is obviously some typos, and you'll notice throughout my entire book I have a lot of typos. And especially with this language, you can see that if Gloam is the way Gloam is talking, this is not how an AI would generate it. So I don't know why anyone think I'm using AI. So he says, "'Tis true, 'tis was a night of the autumn crown." Aze and Gloam both stare, mesmerized at the sight of the fallen armored warrior. A soft beam of moonlight shined down within the cave, showering over the grave head with celestial luminescence. So, let us continue. This is the part where I kind of need to get a little bit, remember. Alright, so this is a point 1. Scene of blood dropping into the mouths of the dead. Let's see, I'm going to drop this down a little bit. Sorry about that noise. I do have a new laptop that I'm trying to get everything uploaded. I need to make that my writing and workstation, but for now I still have this. This is a very old laptop. Let's see. And you will, yeah, this is the this is the writing process. It is very slow and very tedious as you're trying to imagine what is happening in your mind. I'm not too sure how the audio is. Might turn up just a smidge. Yeah, I'm trying to keep that fan down. Let's see. Small droplets of blood run along. And I try occasionally when I notice something at this thing will have like about a 300 word count or so before it tells me I can't do it anymore, and I kind of use that to help guide me. So I kind of do like batches of like 300 words, and then I move, and it helps me kind of like when I do the editing. It helps so I can kind of edit it in batches rather than go run along the whole thing and have to like hit edit, scroll through all that text. Okay. Small droplets of blood run along. The stem. Let's see. The stems. Let's see. On the thick at. Sloping down. Okay. The rough curves of the jagged thorns. So the jagged thorns. Their weight. hanging on the hanging upon the tips with, let's see, hanging upon the tips with only their weight, with only the sticky, let's see, hang on the tip, hang upon, is it up, the tips with only their, let's see, okay, so then we're gonna go, I don't like the word sticky so much, so I'm gonna go sticky synonym. And this is what I do a lot. I look up, like, okay, what's a synonym for this? What's a variant word of this word? Okay. Really? Viscous. Yeah, that makes sense. Viscous. Oh. So go back. And this is what they're, by their, this, hanging upon the tips with with only their, the way their the accumulated weight the accumulated weight their viscousness growing, let's see, the mass, the weight of, let's see, the weight is in a single location, a single point. I don't want to say location. I say point. They have mass on a single point. Heavier is a mass on a singular point. Yeah, there's a lot of writing and rewriting and editing and just like going over sometimes like. Okay, hanging upon the tips with only their viscousness, growing heavier as they amass into a singular point. Bobbing up and down, on with the movement, bobbing up and down on the vine toss casts off. This casts off the crimson fluid. bobbing up and down. The vine casts off the crimson fluid into the pitch depths below. Okay. Excuse me. Let's edit that. Okay. Okay. Hard splat. Let's see, let's do this. I'm gonna edit. So I was gonna say far below, but it's like fluid into the black depths. Instead of saying below, I'm just gonna say into the pitch black depths. Far below. A skeletal corpse. Far below, a skeletal corpse encased in the hedges. Let's see. Hedges what? Alright, back to the clues. Let's see. Hedges what? Let's see. Broken, rampant, overgrown, cultivated, undomesticated, inhabited, untouched now. Disorderly or rowdy, matches, weak matches. Stormy acid. Oh, here. Oh, man. Desolate. Let's see, what is desolate? Desolate, let's see the definition. Yes, let me see the definition for desolate, you idiot. Barren, laid to waste, deprived, deluded of inhabitants. Okay, I want to use that one. Desolate. What? What do you do? Desolate grasp. Encased in the hedge's desolate grasp. A skeletal corpse encased in far below. I think I should have put a comma here. That could be wrong, it'll tell me. This thing likes to say, oh, you need a comma here. Oh, you don't need a comma here. Oh, you should do this. Oh, you shouldn't do this. It does not make up its mind very well. Encased in the hedge's desolate grasp. Its jaw. Its jaw hanging. Its jaw. Its jaw. I'll just say jaw. It's inhuman jaw. Let's as a seer. If you hear all that racket, those are the baby goats running around. They like to jump on my window and stare at me. That's the syrupy. It's too. It's toothies. Grin. X. Its tooth, as a syrupy fluid exploded upon its toothy grin. The rich red, fresh blood, soaked. Soaked deep into the. Oh crap! Here we go. All right. Let's see. Bone gnats. Now I gotta look up to see what the thing from bones is. This is my whole process. It's like writing, figuring stuff out. Oh, here we go. That's what I need. Yeah, I don't. Compact bone, spongy, callous bone. See, spongy bone. Let's see, what is it? The marrow. There we go. Yeah, we go. The marrow. That's the word I was looking for. So deep into the marrow. Its head twitched. Its head twitched. No. Its torn jaw. Slightly. Then its head. Then its head. Then its head, shoulder, and arm, and hand. Soft, low whispers. Soft, low whispers. Emanated? I think that's the word. Let me look up. Is this the right word? Emanated. No, not nominate. Emanated. I don't think that's a word. Emanate. Not terminate. Emanate. does emanated mean? M M emanated. Here we go. Emanated. That's what I need to go. To issue forth from a source. And this continuously. Yeah, that's weird. Okay, emanated. There we go. Exhaled. I like that. I'll use that. I try not to use really big words if I can avoid it. From its throat. Soft white mist. Soft white mist steamed into. Alright, let me see if this word actually makes sense. Steamed. Steamed? Let's see. Synonyms of steamed. Nope. Let's see. Steamed. Burnt, foam, stormed, flame, flared up. Flared. Angry. Fumed. Maybe. Yeah, let's go with fumed. Okay. So fumed. Where we at? Miss fumed. From the bone. The pores. Within this. Pores. It's empty. It's empty eye sockets. Filled with swirls. Of concentrate. Concentrate what? Let's see. For mist. Definition of mist. Synonyms for mist. Concentrated. Its empty eye sockets filled with swirls of concentrated Concentrated what? No, I'm just gonna do concentrate. I'll just say concentrated energy. Concentrated energy. Concentrated essence. Yeah. Turn. It's bones. It's neck. Read. As it glanced outside. As it glanced out. As it glanced through. Thick. Through thick foliage. I might do this. Springs out west road. Okay, so complete that thought, and then I try to do this, whereas like I want to have like a, I don't want to have like a complete thought. Move on. I don't want to have like a big wall of text. I like to have like just enough to where you can say, you can read and then move on. Let's see. Let's do a thick focusing. It's but presence of the trespassers. I guess that'll work. Okay, so that's it. Now this is where I'm going to go back. Okay, so now this, let's see. Now let's see. His glances at. He had, let's see. Silent sigh. Let's see. Force. A moment. He had been expression and one where once has said he was now once shifted gradually expression and glow shifted gradually and sensation to dismissive interest and fascination. To admissive exponents. What's that? Glum gave no response. What? He snorted. She continued. Oh, not what I wanted to do. Dip it. Nothing. 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 Just a nothing. He snorted. You were we took it. I don't. The noise you probably hear is like some family Or I guess it's over, I don't know. He snorted. What? Okay, window that. Just to look. The giant armored. Where do we go? She barely. She barely had enough. To turn about as of the head. Just surrounded her. Surrounded her. All sides. The thickness of the hedge's horn surrounded her from all sides. The light revealed. Yes. Oh. Let's see. Thickness of the hedge's horn surrounded her from all sides. The light revealing sides. The light revealing. The light. No. The light. Let's see. Her. Casting. Its shadows. All. As the light shined its Does foliage have crevices? No. I'm just gonna say not for a long time, for a moment. There's crevices of the foliage. She looked up. She looked. She looked back up from where she fell. That made see, this is also another way of like, how do you write this? Because like I know what the scene is in my head, but I'm trying to figure out like how do I write it properly? Because you know, I don't like to write, have every sentence start like the, but I try to have it to where it's like engaging and eventful. A loud snap of breaking. Let's see. Eyes turn to allow to the okay to the loud snap of breaking vines, or to a loud snap of breaking. She okay, so I'm gonna do this like shined. What is shined? Is it shined? Or is it shown? Intransitive verbs and shine, shining. To cast. Or is it shown? Can't. I'm not really able to think very clearly at the moment, unfortunately. Her light. Casting her. Light. Cast is raising the lantern to illuminate. Raising the lantern to illuminate. As she investigated. Yeah, this is the entire process. It's just long and tedious. Please turn quickly around once. A steady chorus of movement. A steady chorus of movement. Okay, so steady course of movement. What? I try not to use like the same words over and over again. And I try not. I would think I don't want to say something like a steady chorus of movement played all around her, because that sounds a little weird. But okay, I got it. All around her, a steady all around her was a steady growing chorus of movement. I snapped her head. Back and forth. I snapped. Blue eyes wide as she tried. What was cause? She tried to see what was causing it. A sudden eerie. Sudden eerie silence. She tried to see what was causing it. A sudden eerie silence. A sudden long. Alright, so that's, I think, I don't know how many words that is right there. I think it's about like 200 words. So I try to make these things about like around 2,000 words a chapter. Just kind of like convey an idea and then move on to the next one. Each book is supposed to be about 10,000 words. I'm a bit sleepy, so I might just kind of call it here. Well, if you guys see this, I hope you do appreciate it. And, I don't know, I might organize this if anyone's interested. I might organize this to where I can invite you to the Discord and you can kind of chat inside, and maybe I'll open up some ideas or some things you can kind of read, and as I kind of gradually build the world little by little. I have a boatload of ideas